So, listeners, today we're going to be diving into InTheZone Focused Youth.
Oh, interesting.
And, it seems like the perfect time for something like this, right? I mean, think about it. Today's teens and young adults, they're facing so many distractions,
Yeah.
way more than we ever did. It's like
Yeah.
constant screens, social media taking over their lives, not enough sleep, the pressure to be perfect.
Right.
It's a lot.
And there's actual research to back that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like studies are showing attention spans are way down. Mental endurance is like at an all-time low for young people.
Wow.
It's kind of scary, almost like their brains are being flooded with information,
Yeah.
but they're not getting the good stuff, the nutrients they need to actually process it all and use it.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
So it's almost like their brains are starving.
exactly. Starved of the nutrients. And that's where something like In the Zone comes in, you know?
Right, right.
They're trying to be that missing piece.
Yeah, they're really positioning themselves as the solution. Like, give your kid in the zone and watch him become the next Einstein.
Right, right.
But the big question is it all hype?
Yeah.
Or is there some actual science behind it?
That's what we're here to find out, right?
Exactly. Okay, so let's dig into this.
Yeah.
They have this whole section on their website called Key Ingredient Highlights. And it lists all the good stuff that's supposed to make this work.
Okay.
First one up is omega-3 DHA.
Right.
Now, we all know omega-3s are good for you.
Right.
Like, my doctor's been telling me to eat more salmon for years.
Right.
But they're claiming that this particular omega-3 is, like, essential for brain development in teens and young adults.
Hmm.
They even say there are studies showing it can actually improve learning and focus.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
It's not just marketing fluff, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, the National Institutes of Health, the NIH,
Okay.
has done a ton of research on this, and they found that omega-3s, especially DHA, are crucial for building and maintaining healthy brain cells.
So it's like food for the brain.
Exactly. And when your brain cells are healthy, that impacts everything. Memory, attention, how quickly those young brains can process information.
So it's not just about making kids smarter.
Right.
It's about giving them the foundation to learn and grow.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. Okay, next on the list is creatine.
Interesting.
Now, I got to be honest. When I hear creatine, I think gym rats, protein shakes, building muscle.
Yeah, haha.
I don't immediately think, oh, this is going to make me a genius. But InTheZone is claiming that creatine can actually boost brain power, like cognitive function, give you more brain energy. How does that even work?
It's actually pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
So there's been some really interesting research out of the University of Sydney,
Okay.
and they found that creatine doesn't just fuel muscles, it fuels the brain too.
What?
Yeah. It's like a little energy boost for your neurons, helps them fire more efficiently. And that leads to better mental clarity, sharper focus, and it can even improve performance on, tests or anything where you need to think clearly.
So it's like giving your brain a Red Bull.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But a much healthier, more sustainable version.
Okay, I can see how that would be super helpful for students,
Right.
especially those pulling all-nighters, cramming for exams,
Yeah.
or anyone who just feels mentally drained, really.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, what else is on this ingredient list?
Let's see. Oh, this one is interesting. Alpha GPC.
Alpha GPC.
Yeah, they're claiming this one enhances memory and learning, particularly in young adults.
Okay, now that's something I think a lot of parents are going to be interested in.
Right.
But what's the science behind that?
So, research from the University of Eastern Finland
Right.
has shown that alpha GPC increases the production of something called acetylcholine. It's a neurotransmitter, and it's like super important for learning and memory. So if you can boost acetylcholine levels, you're essentially making the brain better at processing and storing information.
So it's like a memory booster shot.
Yeah, kind of. It gives those young brains a little extra help when it comes to, absorbing new knowledge and remembering it later.
All right, I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's like they're not just throwing in random ingredients.
Right.
They're actually picking things that have real scientific backing, things that have been studied and shown to have a positive impact on brain function.
Exactly.
It's pretty impressive, actually. Okay, what's next on the list?
The next one that jumps out at me is lion's mane mushroom.
Lion's mane mushroom. Okay, now that one I've never heard of. What is that and what does it do?
This one is pretty cool, actually.
Okay.
So InTheZone is claiming that lion's mane mushroom can actually protect against cognitive decline.
Really?
Yeah, like help prevent those
Yeah.
those age-related memory problems and stuff. They even mention a Harvard study that supports this.
Wait, Harvard is studying mushrooms now.
Well, they're studying the effects of certain mushrooms on the brain.
Okay, okay.
And what they're finding with lion's mane is pretty remarkable. It seems to stimulate the production of something called nerve growth factor, or NGF.
Okay.
And NGF is essential for the growth, the maintenance, and the survival of brain cells.
So it's like fertilizer for your brain.
Aha! Yeah, something like that.
So it's not just about a quick fix for focus.
Right.
They're thinking about long-term brain health.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. I'm liking what I'm hearing so far.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating stuff.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right?
We haven't even gotten into all the other ingredients and what they do.
Right. There's a lot more to unpack. Yeah, it really seems like they're trying to address, this whole thing about how our hyper-connected world is affecting young brains.
It's true. Like, we're constantly bombarded with information.
Right. And it's not just the amount of information, it's the speed, the intensity.
Yeah, it's like our brains haven't quite caught up to the technology yet.
Exactly. And I think that's why we're seeing these issues with focus, with attention spans.
Right. And InTheZone is saying, hey, we can help with that.
Yeah, and it's not just a quick fix, They're talking about building a foundation for long-term cognitive health.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, let's give these kids the tools they need not just to survive, but to actually thrive in this environment.
Exactly. And speaking of tools, there's something else I wanted to bring up about InTheZone.
Okay, what's that?
The symbolism on the label.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It's not your typical supplement label, that's for sure.
Like you've got a brain, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Intellect, cognitive potential, all that.
But then you have a flower of life. And what is that, like a throat chakra or something?
You got it. It's like they're going for a whole vibe here.
What do you think they're trying to say with all that?
Well, the flower of life is interesting. It's this geometric pattern, and you see it in a lot of different cultures. It usually represents creation, interconnectedness, like the potential for growth and expansion.
So it's like InTheZone can help you reach your full potential.
Yeah, something like that.
And the throat chakra.
So the throat chakra is all about communication, self-expression, authenticity,
Okay.
finding your voice, being able to speak your truth. It's interesting that they included that.
Do you think they're saying that InTheZone can help kids express themselves better?
It's possible, right? Like if you can think clearly and process information more efficiently, maybe that translates to better communication skills too.
That makes sense, especially in today's world where communication is so important.
Right. Whether you're writing a paper, giving a presentation, or just talking to your friends, being able to communicate effectively is crucial.
Absolutely. Okay, so they've got the branding, they've got the symbolism, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to whether the product actually works.
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
And that's where those 50 scenarios come in, right?
Yeah, they've listed all these different situations where InTheZone could be helpful.
Like, it's almost like they're trying to show how versatile it is. Like,
Right.
It's not just for one type of person or one specific problem.
Exactly. It's for anyone who wants to improve their focus, their cognitive function, their overall mental performance.
Okay, let's go through a few of these scenarios. I think our listeners will find this interesting.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, first one up. Are you a student preparing for exams and need sharper focus? Who hasn't been there, right?
Right. Exams are the ultimate test of focus.
Yeah, you got to be able to block out all the distractions and just zero in on the material.
Exactly. And that's where some of the ingredients in InTheZone could really come in handy.
Okay, like what?
Well, we talked about alpha GPC earlier, right?
Yeah, the memory booster.
Right. And then there are the B vitamins, which are also really important for cognitive function. Those could help students stay focused, process information more efficiently, maybe even reduce some of that exam stress.
Okay, that makes sense. What about this one? Are you a young musician memorizing pieces for an orchestra performance?
Oh, wow. Yeah. That takes incredible focus and mental stamina.
Right. Not to mention all that hand-eye coordination.
Exactly. You're using so many different parts of your brain at once. And I think the omega-3 DHA in the zone could be really helpful here.
Okay, why is that?
Well, DHA is known to support memory formation and retrieval.
So it could help those musicians learn and remember those complex pieces more easily.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing. All right, this next one is one I think a lot of parents can relate to. Are you raising a neurodiverse child with mild ADHD or focus challenges?
Yeah, that's a common concern.
A lot of parents are looking for, natural ways to support their kids.
Right. They want to find alternatives to medication or maybe something they can use in addition to traditional therapies.
Exactly. So how could In the Zone help in this situation?
Well, it's important to remember that InTheZone isn't a medication.
Right.
It's not a replacement for professional treatment.
Of course. Of
But
course.
some of the ingredients that support focus and cognitive function, things like alpha-GPC, creatine, and Bacopa monnieri, they might provide some additional support.
Okay, so it's like giving those kids an extra boost.
Exactly. It's about giving parents more options, more tools to help their children thrive.
I like that. Okay, last one for this section. It's a good one. Are you a young athlete preparing for a state championship game?
Oh, yeah, the pressure's on.
Right. And we all know the mental game is just as important as the physical one in those situations.
Absolutely. You got to be able to stay focused, stay calm under pressure, make those split-second decisions.
So how could In the Zone help with that?
Well, it's got that combination of ingredients that we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
The ones that enhance brain energy, cognitive function, and stress resilience.
Right, right.
Those could all be really beneficial for athletes in those high-pressure situations.
So it's like giving them a mental edge.
Exactly. It's about helping them perform at their best, both physically and mentally.
I like it. They've really thought about their target audience here. It's not just students or gamers. It's athletes, musicians, anyone who needs to be at their mental best.
Right. It's like they're saying, hey, we get it. Life is demanding.
And they're offering a solution.
Exactly. And it's not just a quick fix. They're talking about supporting brain health, building resilience, empowering young people to thrive.
It really does feel like In the Zone is like tapping into something bigger here.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not just about selling a supplement. It's like they're creating a movement.
A movement for what?
A movement to help young people, reach their full potential.
I see what you mean. It's like they're acknowledging the struggles, right?
Exactly. Like they get it. It's tough to be a young person these days.
Right. With all the pressure and distractions, it's no wonder so many kids are having trouble focusing, staying motivated.
Right, right. And they're coming in and saying, hey, here's a solution. And it's not just a Band-Aid,
Yeah.
It's about actually nourishing the brain, building resilience, giving these kids the tools they need to not just get by, but to thrive.
That's a powerful message for sure.
But the big question is, can they deliver?
That's always the question, right?
Like, it's one thing to have a slick marketing campaign and a great story,
Mm-hmm.
but does the product actually live up to the hype?
That's what it all comes down to in the end. Results.
Okay, so let's play this out. What if it does work? What if In the Zone actually does everything it claims to do? What could that mean for this generation?
That's a really interesting thought.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine a generation of young people who can focus better, learn more efficiently, handle stress without, completely falling apart.
Wow, yeah, imagine them feeling more confident, more creative, more in control of their lives.
Exactly. And if they have all that, who knows what they could accomplish?
Yeah.
They could be the ones who solve climate change, cure cancer, create world peace. Who knows?
Right. They could be the generation that changes everything.
It's an exciting thought.
It really is. And I
Mhm.
think that's what In the Zone is trying to tap into. It's not just about selling a product. It's about selling a vision.
A vision of what's possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A vision of a brighter future led by a generation of young people who are equipped to face the challenges ahead.
And, whether or not this particular product achieves all that,
Yeah,
I think it's started in an important conversation.
definitely.
It's got us thinking about the challenges these kids are facing and what we can do to help them succeed.
Absolutely. And so as we wrap up our deep dive into In the Zone Focused Youth, I think the takeaway for our listeners is this. We have a responsibility to support this next generation.
We do.
Whether it's through providing them with resources, creating safe spaces, or just listening to them, we need to do what we can to empower them.
Because they are the future.
They are. And who knows, maybe they'll surprise us all with what they can accomplish. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. We'll see you next time.